Okay, so we're playing Marseille. The rules are that white gets only one turn, and then subsequently every player gets 2 turns per go. But if either of those turns is a check, then the move ends. So you can't check and take the opponent king all in one go, for example, which would be very tempting when you're first playing this game. Now, d4 is interesting because it kind of discourages moving the e-pawn at any point, because otherwise there's bishop g5 takes queen. So you can't say go e5, ed. If you do move the e-pawn, you have to go bishop e7 to defend. So it's very important to have active pieces in this variant, but also pieces that are not easily captured. So if I go pawn here, then I'm liable. So maybe I get my knight out instead. Knight out, knight out. That seems reasonable. It's quite aggressive. One has to be a little bit materialistic sometimes. So just knight out is also reasonable. Knight out, knight out. Is that a reasonable play? That is a reasonable play because the threat is knight takes pawn, knight takes queen. So he has to go takes, takes. So this is very forcing already. Knight f3, knight e5. He has to go takes, takes, and I got takes, takes. So this is already quite forcing. So yeah, let's have a look at some of the games we played earlier. If they are still, I can't open tabs. So that was one of the games we played. Can't really do it justice. Yeah, I can't, yeah, never mind. The problem I'm having, so it's all rather mixed up. So that was a 5+5 game we played, okay. Then there was another 5+5 game. Yeah, that was a rather interesting game. Okay, then what was this one? 5+5, 5+5, 15+5. Yeah, that I just got crashed. Yep, yep, yep. So 5+5, 15+5. This one got aborted. And this one apparently I lost on time. And that was quite an interesting one. Okay. So back to the current game. So I did something quite forcing. I thought it was forcing to do this, but then it's losing a piece. So he's actually maybe giving up the rook. Is he? Is he now? And now I have threats of bishop f4 takes queen. Yeah. So our first ever game of Marseille Chess, I played g4 and immediately fell in for b6 takes my queen, because we played an asymmetric variant. I took back the bishop, black castled and played castle queenside and played g6. I took that bishop, the queen came and took it back. I tried to try and block off that queen. He came and took a pawn attacking my knight. I just moved the knight out the way, and really she should have just taken that knight at that point. But he took the rook instead, which is also tempting. I'm not allowed to go knight e3, knight f1. So if you're in check, it's like in normal chess. You have to play it one move at a time. You can't use the two moves to block the check. So I got the knight out of the way because I realised that was a mistake earlier. He backed off. The knight is pinned, so I can't take his queen. So I developed and did this. I'm threatening rook h1 takes queen. He backed off the queen and advanced the pawn. I did bishop here, so I'm threatening knight b5 takes pawn checkmate. He blocked the mate, did this. I just picked up a knight, but he picked up the knight, but he picks up my knight, and he now has mating ideas. It's rook a1, queen takes rook sort of ideas. So I tried to get out of the way, but he's just getting too much material. I get out of the way, take the pawn. He's coming in and mating me very soon. He takes my knight. I'm trying to block his queen because the queen is threatening to come in. Queen here, queen there, checkmate. And then he just I took his knight, but he took my rook, and that was the first game. Okay, I should really get into the current game. He's managed to take my rook. Ooh, yes, so he's kind of done the kind of nasty stuff that I did to him in the first game. It's interesting. That is interesting. And the thing to do with this, I need to do something similar to what he did, which is threaten queen. Queen takes bishop checkmate. That's the move. Okay, but I've just got to make sure he hasn't got anything too forcing. So the threat is queen here, queen takes bishop checkmate. That's the important threat. If I go pawn there, I've got to make sure he doesn't have anything too forcing. He could just back off the knight, that's the thing. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Because if he backs off the knight, I've got queen there, queen here, check. So this is... So I'm still not too unhappy with my position. Oh man, of course. Ah, yuck. Yes, okay, I forgot that. Ah, that's annoying. I was so thinking about how I'm going to go and take his bishop and mate him. I completely failed to notice that he could do the same to me. So I go pawn takes knight and check. That's reasonable. So then he has to do a move and then another move. Let's do that. So I do get some compensation for the queen. The reason I can't just go knight g6 takes bishop is he has bishop e2, queen takes bishop. Oh, but okay. Why doesn't he do that? I don't understand it. I really don't understand why he's trying to save his bishop, and that's not the square to save it either. Because I can just come in and take it. But of course, if he went all the way back, I've still got pawn there and take it. So, oh yeah, he does have this. That's true. Yes. Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, that is a good point. So I have to do this and throw in a check. Ah, it's just so fortunate it's a check, man. Because it's just small mercies. Because obviously, if it's not check, he goes queen takes knight, queen takes rook, and I'm just out of material. Now, unfortunately, he's got a counter check, but it was literally the only thing I could do, right? He can block the check or move the king, and then counter check me, and I've got no blocking piece that can then go on to take his queen. But at least I might have a counter check. No, I don't have three moves. This is the problem. I don't have three moves. Oh, it's such a shame. But I can go king here, I guess, and then knight out. But then he's got yeah. You can't have check and take my rook. Yeah, this is okay actually. This is okay. He does have pawn takes bishop, but then I take his queen. So he does have a6 takes bishop, but then I have like rook here take his queen. So that's the line I'm expecting. He doesn't give me a check. Yeah, I'm surprised. Because I could go knight here, check, for example, but then he moves and takes my rook, so that doesn't quite work. But I also go knight here, knight takes bishop, check, but then he's got rook takes pawn, so that doesn't work. But something else? So the problem is the bishop is hanging, so I kind of got to... The point is bishop takes knight, pawn takes... Yeah, there's no follow-up to that. That's the problem I'm having. I could go pawn here, rook a2. That's interesting. So pawn here defends the bishop, rook a2. He's got queen takes pawn. Yeah, queen takes pawn is the problem. Okay, okay, okay. What about... So he can never take whenever he takes the pawn, it's with check. So rook a2, queen takes pawn, defends. Queen takes knight, I'd have takes back. Yeah, this is really interesting. I'm enjoying this. Rook. So the reason I don't want to go knight, I could just go knight here. Yeah, knight here actually defends the rook, doesn't it? Because if queen takes pawn check, no, queen takes pawn check's the problem. Because if ever queen takes rook, you have knight and takes the queen. So knight d2 does defend, but he has queen takes pawn check. This is the problem. So a3, rook a2. Again, he's got queen takes pawn check. Slightly annoying. So knight here feels more active. So I want to only give him one move. That's the first thing. So that's why I must throw in a check. So throw in a check, and then give him only one move. And then with that one move, I could go a3, rook a2, but then he just got queen takes pawn check, and I only get one move now, and my pieces are not out. So that's why I'm a little bit... Okay, so I take it... Oh, no. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Ah. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I'm gonna close that game. I wanted to go knight d2 and then take the knight. Um, um, I just made I made a mess of that one. Oh, this is okay. This is going to be all crazy. Okay, so I've got to stop what happened last time, which was very annoying. So I'm going to go. Ah, okay. He wants a new seek. So going back to the hall. Um, and we start a new game. Okay, I'm going to go with d4 as before. So I showed you the first game we played where we played asymmetric position. Okay, let me show the second game. I think it was the second game we played. I play very active, put both pawns out. He takes the pawn. He takes one of my pawns. And I throw a check. And the idea is just to keep him down to one move, but unfortunately that lost me a piece. I give him another check. He took, went bishop here. I took, and he took back and castled. And I hit the queen again. I'm just trying to do moves that restrict him to one move, but he just really exchanged off pieces in this game, and he was a piece up. So I think that's what got me in that game. So that was not such an interesting game. That was the second game we played. Okay, so d4, he's just taken here. Interesting. So if I go knight takes pawn, so this is the problem. I think think that's an issue, because he can't go pawn there, pawn takes knight, because of bishop here, bishop takes queen. So I think c5 takes pawn might be a mistake. And that's why I'm trying to look at these old games, so I can just try and learn something. So this is the third game we played. He did this, and I did this, and he did this, and I did this, and backed off. So we're repeating this, and I'm backing off. Okay, so we're repeating the line from this previous game. Game 3 we played. And he played d5, knight f6 developing, but he missed this very nice idea of taking the rook on h8. So he had this counter idea of going queen takes b2, queen takes c1, checkmate. So that's quite serious. I can't do bishop h6, bishop takes g7 or something, otherwise just queen takes b2, queen c1 is mate. So I did g3, knight, so everything's, pieces are protected, he can't sort of take any of my pieces. He took the pawn and backed off, okay, and I did this and this, so the idea is he could take the knight and back off, but I thought that the two bishops probably covered all the squares. I couldn't see any square he could go to where he was safe. Like, for example, if he takes the knight, goes back here, I just go bishop here, takes the queen. Queen takes knight, go here. I go bishop here, takes the queen. I can't see any safe square for his king. But unfortunately, we were playing that game too fast, and yeah. Okay, so Opper's thinking, which is good, and then the game we just played, right? The next game we played, of course, was this one, where I unfortunately, so this was a nice, so the first few moves is quite nice. He develops, I take, so again, I'm just trying to get a tempo move on the knight. He can't really, if he does knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, I just go queen takes knight, queen back, something like this. So he did knight takes pawn, bishop here. This is a really nice move, because he has a double threat, taking the queen and also taking the queen, bishop takes knight, bishop takes queen. So what I did is I did bishop takes knight check, so bishop out, bishop takes knight check, so he's only got one move, he hasn't got that two-move threat on me. So he just takes back, and this is a very nice move stopping. Knight here, queen takes bishop. And of course he would have knight here, knight takes queen, but then I'd have knight takes c, knight takes queen also. He could then take my knight, but then maybe I could take his knight, so it's quite difficult. So I did this, putting my queen so it's not 2 squares away from his knight. He did this, and I did this, and I was quite happy with this in a way. But so I developed, because I'm trying to avoid rook takes g7 takes queen. But what I completely missed was queen here, queen takes rook, and that's it, that's game over. So that was a huge threat. Bishop takes pawn, there was a double bishop takes pawn, rook here, had a threat of also queen here, queen takes rook, as well as rook takes pawn, rook takes queen. Have to somehow defend both. It's not easy, I can't see a way. And so he wins the rook, and then the whole game he's up a rook, and then I get a check in, I get some sort of activity, but I need to defend my knight, and then I hung my rook, my own rook. So that was that game. And now we're up to the current game, and he's developed his knight, and he's protected this important square. So knight, is that knight actually threatening anything? If I go bishop here, bishop back, is there a threat? What about bishop here? So is he actually threatening anything? That's what I'm trying to figure. Because I could go like e4, e5. He has checks though. Yeah, he has checks and just takes the pawn. That would be kind of. No, he can't. Sorry, that doesn't. The check doesn't make sense because I've got bishop d2, bishop takes queen. So the check doesn't make sense. That's quite an important point. The move I've got to watch out for is queen here, queen takes pawn, queen takes rook. That is a nasty idea. So what I'm actually going to do is hit this. I'm going to hit this knight. Just as long as my queen is not getting hit, I feel that's okay. I just noticed he does have just pawn d6 takes pawn. Which I hadn't considered. And I guess I have to take his queen. I guess I develop and then take his queen and then do something else for the next move. Yeah, there's that too. But that doesn't work because I got this and takes the queen. Ah, okay, but he can take my queen back. Fair enough. It's like when you see that, it's like, oh, he just hung his queen. Ah, he just takes it back. It's not a problem. Takes it back. He gets good development. It's not actually a problem. So do I go f4 takes pawn? It's quite easy to take back. So things I need to do moves that actually threaten something. Oh yes, I could go something and a check. So something and a check, but then he's got bishop d7. So knight c3 and then a check, for example. But then he's got bishop d7 takes there, but then I can take and then check. Then he has takes. Okay, knight c3 feels right, and check feels not so bad, so I'll do it. So he does just have bishop d7 takes, but then I get an extra move, so I think I get a nice developing move in. That's my idea anyway. I'm obviously going for forcing stuff where I can. I think his bishop is worse than my bishop, so it's a simple case of taking it's a good idea. I might actually go a4, a takes b5, because then the threats of rook takes a7, rook takes rook, which is quite nasty. That might actually be even better than going knight takes, because knight takes, the knight is hanging from a6, a takes knight. So I really love the idea of oh that's interesting. Hmm. Hmm. So he doesn't. Okay, I could just castle at this point. So I'm thinking between bishop d2, castles. Um, Obviously, the king on c8 is looking extremely precarious. Bishop d2 is tempting. Thing is, if he takes, rook takes bishop and rook back is the problem. Okay, so I'd be losing a piece. So this is actually a key point. I need to be very careful here. So I'm going to castle and then go bishop takes bishop. So he only gets, just trying to continually restrict him to one move. Basically, this is the philosophy of this. I could go knight there, knight takes knight, but that just helps his bishop develop. Bishop here, bishop takes bishop. His bishop's worse, so why would I want to do that? Yeah, it's a really... Where can I put my bishop? I can put my bishop here, maybe. But bishop here, bishop takes pawn. Yeah, bishop here, bishop takes pawn is interesting. But unfortunately he has just pawn here, rook takes bishop. Ah, this is so tough. Don't want to lose my bishop. I have knight there, knight takes rook, but then he has king here, king takes knight. It really is no good. Oh, he's giving up his rook. He's giving up his rook. Interesting. Okay, I'm happy with that. Because the problem is after king takes knight, I have bishop f4, bishop takes pawn, check. He has to move only one extra move, and then I've got bishop takes knight, bishop takes rook as a threat as well. So I think I'm finally winning one of these games. Okay, so this and oh, he does have this, but I do have this. I just played it instantly, just without realizing he does have this, but then I have this. and then this, okay. And he does have the knight takes pawn. He does. That's true. That's true. But then I do have rook takes knight if I want to, or I have rook takes pawn. Yeah, let's see what else I have. Rook, rook, rook here. Rook takes knight. He has king. King takes knight. That's the only slight thing. So rook here, maybe rook here and rook here. Rook takes. I could also just take the pawn and back off again. That's the other idea. But then he has taking my rook. So it takes. No, I can't back off again. So rook is check. So rook here, rook takes knight. The problem is king here, king takes knight. And then rook takes pawn, and then he comes and eats my rook. So that's the problem. Rook here, rook takes knight. Okay, so he said he thought he had rook c7, rook c6. Rook c, rook c, I'm going to go rook here, but now what's he going to do? He's going to go knight here, knight here. That's no good. So I need to put my rooks at a distance where they cannot. So the threat is rook takes knight and rook takes pawn. That's rook takes knight and rook takes pawn check, which means he can't. Yeah. So and if he does something like here, then I go rook takes pawn, rook takes rook, and I win his rook. That's not good. If he moves his knight, which I think he probably would. Oh no, rook here works because if rook takes pawn, rook takes rook. So yeah, that works. Rook d8 might also work. Rook d8. The thing is, I can just take his knight, and then back off all the way, and it's a free piece. So it's a little bit of pressure in this game, certainly. Exchange up. Rooks are good pieces. Okay, so what could he do else? He could go rook f8. Rook f8. I just takes, and then takes, something like this. No, that doesn't work. Sorry. Rook f8 just takes the knight and backs off. So yeah, the knight has to move, otherwise just take it and back off. And it's hard to find a tempo move with the knight, so it just has to back off, and then rook f8. So knight there, rook f8, that seems reasonable. But then, what else do I have? Yeah, oh yeah, something like this also, yeah. So I could take the pawn, but there's no real safe. Yeah, take the pawn and then back off, and the threat is no, that doesn't work. Take the pawn, take this pawn. Take the pawn. Which pawn do I take? Take the pawn, take the knight. No, take the pawn, rook here. Take the pawn, rook here. Looks strong because it doesn't look like he has anything. Against those rooks, and now the threat is again rook takes knight and then just run away again. So that's the threat. And if the knight goes anywhere, the threat is to pick it up, and he could pick it up, but then I can pick it up back. So maybe the knight has to end up being defended by like knight here would work. The rooks are defending each other, so I win a pawn. Rook takes pawn. Rook takes pawn. Yeah, you can't go rook takes pawn, rook here. He just goes rook takes rook and backs off. He wins a free rook. So rook takes pawn and back off would be the sort of thing to do in that situation. Rook takes pawn here doesn't work because king here, king takes rook. Rook takes pawn. Could also take this pawn and then go somewhere. But it would be keeping black very passive. So just rook takes pawn and back off. If knight here, does rook takes pawn, back off all the way. You could go rook here, rook takes rook though. Rook takes pawn, back off here maybe. Keeps things under greater control. Yeah, so this game has gone a lot better for me, but I think it's my move. So what has he done? Knight c6, this, rook takes e6, rook f6. Why is my clock running? I'm not understanding. So because he's played a move. 98, okay, interesting. So if I ever take the pawn, knight takes, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I could always go rook takes pawn, rook here. It does give his rook some activity, which might be a mistake. But seems fine. Yeah, so what was the point where it went wrong? Anyway, it's my move again. Knight d8, let's just get back to the current position. This... So what do I do here? Just back off and throw in a check. Let's throw in a check. So he gets a free move to do something. What does he do? Okay, this is not going to be totally straightforward. Let's see. You can block with the knight, that's a kind of active move. And then I'm going to try and hunt his rook. That's basically the idea. Yeah. I could just do this and this. His knight is pinned, so you can't move it. You could move his king and then fork my rooks, for example, in a normal game of chess. But in this game of chess it doesn't work, because I just go move my rook and take the knight that's forking me. And if he goes and takes the rook, then I go and take the rook back. So what's the threat here? It's... if pawn here, I just go takes and back off. If he leaves the pawn there, then rook takes pawn check is decent. Okay, so just don't take it like this. And if he takes here, then I'm taking the knight. So I'm taking the knight and going here. And it's a resign. Yeah, okay, so that's it.
Are you live? Oh, okay, it's Doooovid. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Hi there, Doooovid. Yeah, I'm playing some Marseille Chess.
Okay, well, are you streaming?
I'm recording, yeah.
Okay, so
I
you want me not to bother you,
No,
or
you
I
can.
just want.
I'll send you the game link. I'll put it in the Crazyhouse channel. I'll put in the link in the. Well, I just managed to beat Opera after losing about 10 times in a row. So yeah, good timing, Doovid. Good timing. You can check out the game. I finally managed to get a win in Marseille Chess against Opera. Let's see if you can play
Okay.
another. Okay, so
Yeah, I
it's
was hoping to
actually
finish your
it's 11:30 for him. So it's actually we just ended the whole thing now. That's the last game.
V chess. I never saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if you have time to answer a technical question.
it's a cool variant site. I recommend it to everyone. So I'll just quickly say that to plug it. vchess.club. Yeah. So what's the question?
I streamed today, actually, chess.com in the weekly chess arena, and the finisher was telling me I should register to become an LI chess streamer. So I think I did that. I guess I got to wait for approval. And it looks like it works with YouTube. So I was wondering, when you stream, does LI chess like, I mean, it looks like Mike and Michael answered the question already, but I still have to use OBS or StreamYards to put it to YouTube. Like LI Chess isn't gonna access my camera and microphone in YouTube and put it there for me. It's just gonna access my YouTube and simulcast it on LI Chess.
Correct. So it's just it'll put your Twitch links and YouTube links, so people who follow you can watch your videos directly on Lichess. Secondly, when they log into Lichess, they might in the list of notifications of forum posts and stuff like that, they'll get a little thing saying Doovid is streaming.
If I get approved, then so the next time I play, I'll just click on something, or does it work automatically?
No, so it
And
doesn't do anything. All it does is it just lets your followers on Lichess know that you're streaming. That's all it does.
automatically access my YouTube page
No,
to play the.
so no, it doesn't automatically do anything. So literally, all it does, it does the same actually as this Discord does. Is whenever you start streaming, the guys who run this Discord can set it up so that there's a little notification that goes out to people who are interested saying Doovid is streaming.
And like, I mean, I know you do it on Twitch, but I mean, if I'm streaming on YouTube, would I just have to tell them I'm streaming? I mean, I guess I'll probably figure it out if they, assuming they
So
approve me. I
so
don't think I
so
can.
they all you're doing is you're giving them the link to your YouTube. So you're just letting them know that you exist, basically. So then, yeah, but the thing about that is whenever you start streaming on YouTube, including your non-chess stuff, your followers on Lichess will get a notification Doovid has started streaming. So as long as you're okay with that, then that's fine. That's what will happen.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking, Michael's recommended, so I just signed up, and I guess I got to wait for them to approve me. Hopefully, that won't be a problem. Yeah, it's a tough streaming market for Crazyhouse because like I stream regularly in general, and my regular streaming audience for my other stuff doesn't particularly take any interest in chess variants.
Yeah, I
And then for the
understand.
chess
Yeah.
variant perspective, they okay, like I might be
So,
top 100 almost. I'm
so actually,
almost
what I
the
said
top
might not
100
be
players.
completely true. Sorry, there's something I should have added. The stream title needs to say onlichess.org and so then yeah, and once that's picked up, even when you're playing a tournament, it'll recognize, oh, Doovid is currently doing a stream on YouTube that has onlichess.org in it, so he's probably playing this tournament, and it'll have a little bar on the left of the tournament saying Doovid is streaming. So even players playing a tournament can see you're streaming. So as I said, it doesn't access your microphone, doesn't access anything. It just means that Lichess talks to YouTube and gets notifications from YouTube when you start streaming.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it would have benefit if anyone likes my streams. I mean, I get a few viewers to my stream, but I don't know if any Crazyhouse players would benefit, or even what the future of streaming it in general is. Like yours are, I do a more banter blitz style. I guess yours are more like analysis, so might be more useful. And then like a banter blitz, people probably want to see the very best players. But I guess if Jan Lee's not streaming, you don't have any top players streaming.
So people love Banter Blitz, obviously. I mean, that's what people love. Like, um, I do lots of commentary videos. People don't really watch commentary videos. So let's, people want to watch, people playing live. That's what, yeah. Um,
That's what I do. I mean, I get some viewership, but like I don't think I don't think I'm going to make money off of it
So,
or get
were
free
you
shares.
around when Clearcast? So Clearcast used to be quite active, and he's a like 2400 Lee Chess Crazyhouse player. So when John Lee stopped streaming a lot, I think Clearcast did quite a lot of streams, but then he got busy as well. Um, so I mean, Clearcast, Mugwort, Jan Lee. There was a guy called Nicholas Thice who played under the name Atrophied way back. Krosky also used to play. So yeah, there are a lot of people who do it, but like as you said, a lot of people got busy. So actually, there are not that many people as well. So sort of double edged.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. I guess I gotta let you back to
Yeah,
going where
this
you're
is it.
going.
I'm finished now. So yeah, I mean, if you like,
Okay,
we
so take your blessings.
if you want to play a
If you
game
guys are
on
staying
Pi
safe
on Pi
today,
Chess or something, I'm up for it. For example, if you want to.
I just did 4 hours straight. I started at 2:15 and I did the um
Okay, so have a good break.
the
Have a good dinner. Night.
Yeah, although, I mean, God forbid with this coronavirus, I know Pepe said like he can't play his games because of coronavirus, but I think most people are gonna be on the chess server a lot more because of it.
I was actually listening to your stream this morning, so you did a 3 hour video on it.
Horde or the Crazy House.
No, the coronavirus one.
So, yeah, I tried to do like the quick at the beginning, just overlay the
Yeah,
information, and
I was,
then
I was I was listening to that one. Yeah.
yeah, if you saw, actually someone donated 150 pounds to me from England. I have no idea who they are. I
Well,
mean, I
it
know
wasn't it
because they
wasn't
watch
me,
my stream.
but yeah, I was.
No, and someone calls himself Captain Caveman.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like Crazy House. You have no idea who these people are, but yeah, I communicate with him. He donated some money uh, for doing that stream. So I don't. Is there any chess streamers who get like super chats who make money off of doing it on YouTube? I know Lee Chess had Discord, not Discord. I'm saying Twitch has a different model where I guess
you won't make any
you don't
money
have.
streaming. That's just like whatever. I mean, um, so Twitch has a different model streaming, and if you are making any money, they're taking it off you. So they're taking a good like 25% off you, so you're not getting very much.
Well, I mean, Google takes 33 payments. So that guy gave me 150 pounds and I get about $100 of that. So like 150 pounds
Why?
is probably well over $200. But by the time Google, whatever took their cut in the exchange rate, they're going to give me like $100 of that.
No, that's so wrong. I mean, but why? I mean, because I mean, if you have some kind, if they had donated, and surely there's some way of donating directly to you, not through Google.
I mean, saying he could have donated through me. I don't even have like PayPal or like Patreon or something. There are ways, but he didn't really donate to me like at the time he did a super chat. So what he really wants is everyone who's watching my stream to see his name and to see his message.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I get like half of the money from it, and obviously YouTube stores my videos and whatever. They probably have huge data
Yeah, yeah. So
centers,
he did
so
it for
he's
publicity in a way as well. Yeah, okay, I got it.
getting the majority of it. But like, yeah, relatively, he wanted his voice, you know,
Amplified. Yeah,
amplified, and that's the way the super chat feature is set up. And generally, that's the unless you get hundreds of thousands or millions of views, uh, you can't make money from viewership.
sure.
They do have subscribers,
But
but
that's
you
a,
have to
that's a
have
cool
over a hundred
$100
thousand.
anyway. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so I don't know if people would super chat. Like if there'd be a whole bunch of people watching a YouTube chess video where the people not necessarily wanting to communicate to me, but wanting to communicate to each other,
Yeah, I've seen it,
or
but I've never
when
tried
you
it.
get big enough, people basically have to pay for questions because the chats are
Yeah,
so
yeah.
big.
So it's like when the chat's
You're,
very active, it's a good way of like, so those who use that they get their questions answered, that kind of thing.
So I doubt there's a monetary future in streaming chess. So it's so really it's just a question of like me trying to show off my ego for being good at something, or me for my own study purposes to look back over and hear my thoughts,
Sure,
or for the actual Crazy House community itself. People that are who play the game and find it useful.
yeah, or just because it's fun. So when I'm playing these variants with Opper, I just played some Marseille chess with Opper. Uh, is it for people to improve their Marseille chess? No, not really. Um, is it? I guess it's just maybe there are not that many videos of Marseille chess on YouTube. So
Might
Um,
improve your if you say, okay, like you're a top 200 player, but you're not a top player. But because you're one of the few people streaming, that maybe it puts you in the circle of the top players, even though rating wise, like the bug house, where like like, oh, I'll stream the top players playing bug house. But even you're a good bug house player, but you're not like a top 10 player. But because you're the streamer, it's kind of like you're doing the necessary work that puts you in league to be friendly with the top players.
yeah, I
Not to
mean,
say you're a
I
top player
think I
yourself.
was already friendly with the top players, and then it's like no one else is streaming it. It's like none of the top players are streaming it, so it's like it worked the other way around basically. I was like, I'd even if I wasn't streaming, I'd still be friends with them, and that sort of came first.
From
But
internet, or from you saying from worldwide, or just from playing on the internet because you've been playing so long?
no, just because I've been on Discord. So you should, if you just hop in on Discord, like from the beginning, I've been on Discord and just to chatting with other chess people on Discord for like the last couple of years. I mean, that's why, yeah, that's why that's so. And the reason is I see these people are playing Bughouse and they were in the voice chat and no one else is streaming it, and it is quite sometimes quite a nice kind of memoriam of of some of the nice action that's happening, and
I
not that
definitely
many
credit
people will
your
watch
stream.
it, but it's quite a nice kind of memento. As long as YouTube keeps it forever, it's quite a nice memento.
Definitely credit your streams. Probably gave at least 100 rating points or something I gained from watching your streams, and if I put it out there, yeah, I don't know who would benefit, like who would watch my stream. Would a 1,500 crazy house player that just wants to see some quick games, or maybe top players that just because there's not that much out there, or people who want to beat me or something. So I figured I'd stream just because. Actually, I stream because I my today's my reset on my StreamYards that only gives me 20 free hours a week, free hours a month. My pay is only $20 a month, but I had a few hours left, so I figured I'd stream today. And coronavirus,
So
just
so
everything's
what limits
down.
your streaming? Sorry, why do you have a limit at all?
It used to be Google Hangouts. You could just go live from Google Hangouts and it streamed. Then they got rid of that, so you could no longer stream from Google Hangouts. So if you stream from YouTube itself, you can't do a screen share. So you have to use third-party software in order to stream to YouTube. If you just did go live on YouTube, all you get is a camera, and you can't
Ah,
do anything else. So there's OBS is a little bit computer programmed. You could probably figure it out, but like OBS is like a little software and programming to do it. StreamYards is kind of like a free way of doing it, but
so
they
oh, I
put a little
see.
sign on top.
So you're talking about streaming with other
Um,
people. You get a limit of how many hours you can stream with other people.
hours a month for free. You
Yeah.
could do it.
So who are you streaming
Um,
with just now for the last 4 hours?
just me. I got tired of just me talking. I have a few people I regularly stream with from all over the place from
But you don't
various
have to pay
topics.
for that. You don't have to. That's not doesn't that doesn't count towards your hours if you're just streaming on your own.
It does 20 hours period total with StreamYards. You could stream with YouTube without any limit, but you don't get to screen share. So I couldn't stream chess with YouTube because they don't have a screen share feature anymore.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Um,
I didn't know that. Okay.
so I could stream unlimited to YouTube. There's no limit on
I mean,
that.
I can
It's just
recommend
that
Twitch. I mean, so, Twitch, you just do it, and then once you've done it, there's like a one click. It'll upload it to YouTube in its own time.
it's pretty easy. I guess Twitch is more for gamers. So I was created YouTube years ago to actually promote various things,
Yeah,
and then just talking into it. So I think Twitch is more for gamers uh, than YouTube, and I could probably do OBS. I have OBS. I've done it before, but StreamYards is very easy.
I see. I see.
I could pay the $20 a month. If you pay the $20 a month, I don't know if it's like 50 hours, and then they don't put the little trademark on your stream. But in the meantime, I've just been cheap. So basically, I stream using StreamYards less than 20 hours a month.
Yes. So
And
because of
you're not
coronavirus, are
streaming.
you avoiding your, for example, religious gatherings and gatherings in general?
Everything's closed. My synagogues, there's a few synagogues that are trying to like keep these like limits. I mean, unfortunately, God forbid, people are dying. I put on my stream, the only way this makes sense is if what they're saying is hundreds of thousands of people are probably going to die, and if we didn't do this, millions of people would die. But here, like all of America, in Michigan, I think they've put it to 50 people. You can't have a gathering of more than 50 people, and they've closed down all non-essential things, everything basically besides for banks and uh, grocery stores, and I mean doctor's office. Some businesses are open, although you're not supposed to have more than even 10 people together, but 50 people could even be against the law. And even here in Michigan now, we got like over 50 cases. And I saw in New York now, there, it looks like, God forbid, it'd be like Italy. Like, I mean, I guess that's what they're telling you there too. Like, God forbid, there's going to be tens of thousands of people
Oh,
dying.
we've got our
And
schools still open.
you're not in London, or
In the
you're
UK, yeah, in London, they've got schools still open.
yes, I will say, I'm saying if what they're saying, this is a horrible virus and it kills about 2%
No, I
of
mean,
people.
I know it's just like, so the government's kind of, and basically until last week, also gatherings were still allowed to go ahead, because basically what they said is we've done the science and gatherings don't make much difference to going to the pub, and if we close schools, we don't know what, those children are still going to be, mixing. Um, so
I mean,
it's not appropriate yet. So, but having said that, it's likely this Friday schools will close, and yeah.
I've been putting that. I mean, they have the New York Times. I'll put it in the Discord regular Crazyhouse link, but right now it's telling that UK has 1,950 cases and 71 people have died. And that's likely to exponentially increase. So, like I've been watching this, and now that like it's going up quick, and CDC, Center for Disease Control in the U.S. If you see that like little Italian guy Fauci, who's President Trump's guy, always talking, and he said 2 months. Be prepared to hamper down no crowds for 2 months.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
we've been
think
told
that's
3 months. Yeah, 3 months.
yeah. So I don't know why Pepe. Like God forbid, I'm looking at this thing I just shared. Like Spain now, over 500 dead, over 500 people in serious condition, 12,000 confirmed cases, only 1,000 have recovered. Um, he said he couldn't play because of coronavirus, but I mean, who knows? Maybe he has stuff he has to do. I'm not going to question him, but here it's looking like.
Well, I think he obviously wasn't in the mood for chess, but maybe he's working with some kind of computer. He's a programmer, so I mean, maybe he's using his programming to try and help in some way.
New York has 12 dead, 60 in serious condition, 13, almost 1,400 cases. It looks to be exponentially going up. Like in a few days, they'll probably be, like New York and the UK are about even, so to say. So here in Michigan, no one's died yet. There's still cases.
Yeah,
There's
so
people
we
in the
got.
hospital.
Yeah, I mean, we got. Okay, so I know. So basically, all this is what you're saying is it's serious, and yeah, and it is exponential. And yeah, I know this. And I mean, the key. So the key piece of data is the transmission rate of the virus. Each person who gets it, how many people are they spreading to? If that is greater than 1, then you're going to get exponential growth. And so the only way that this is going to peter out is if that gets less than 1. And one way that happens is if, say, if half the population gets it, obviously that's not a very good scenario because then you've got hundreds of thousands of deaths. If that ever does happen, then obviously the transmission rate
That would
will
be
go under 1 at that point. So the
half
question
the
is, can you get it under
population
1
gets it.
sooner?
God forbid if half the population got it, you'd have over 10 million deaths.
Yes, well, the prediction is that
If the 2% death rate goes on, but I mean, that's why, yeah. But I guess it's only a little bit more conducive than the flu. So it's general flu precautions, except this one's deadly.
I mean, the government is saying half the population could get this. which means you want to make sure. I mean, okay, so I'd say the UK government, instead of focusing on schools and mass gatherings, because they basically said you could get this in a pub just as much as in a gathering of 1,000 people. So they were kind of very reluctant to ban mass gatherings and shut schools and stuff, even though the public really wants that, and the image is bad. So I'd say the government approach would be threefold: is anyone who has symptoms of either fever or um, um, oh, or cough, sorry, yeah, either fever or cough should stay home. And then, as of today, they said not only should they stay home for 7 days, not only should they stay home, but their whole family should stay home for. Anyone living with them should stay home for 14 days. So the journalists are asking, why do people living with them have to stay home for 14 days when they only have to stay home for 7 days? And they were saying it's because it could take 7 days for the symptoms for it to transmit to the people around them, and then another 7 days for them to get better. And then they were saying this about even very, very, very mild cases. So the first thing is that they should stay home. The second thing is their household should stay home. And the third thing, okay, so the 0th thing is that everyone should wash their hands 10 times a day. That was the obvious thing. And then the third thing is they want people over 70 to self-isolate.
My dad's a family doctor, and he's already got like I think they set a tent outside of his office. And he's got special hours for older people
Yeah.
where they're doing the whole clean down, and then they're taking temperatures of people like in a tent outside, because I guess one of the first signs, even before the cough, it was like a few temperatures. So even if a person's only had it 2 or 3 days, usually they show a temperature of a few degrees. So that's what they're doing now is in my dad's office,
Right.
um,
But what the UK government
is
is saying, there's no. So what the UK government is doing is they did a lot of tests in the past few weeks trying to contain the outbreak. Now, once it got out of control, they're like, we're not interested in doing any tests anymore, apart from in hospitals. Like, if you think you've got it, just stay at home. We're not interested in testing you. Um, and maybe Americans are very much focused on why aren't the government giving us free tests, etc., etc. But like whether you have got it or not, there's really no harm in staying at home if you have something very mildly and just making sure you don't pass it to other people.
The U.S. seems to like they seem to say Korea, maybe China, use the testing approach, and the U.S. is saying isolation. Like the tests don't matter so much because people are going to get it. There's no way to stop
So
people from getting it,
so
and the key thing is isolation.
the key is isolation. So the testing is useful if you can then follow it up with tracking down everyone that person might have met and telling them they should stay home as well.
Or maybe like in Korea where they spray you everywhere you go. You got people like spraying you on the subways before you get in and go.
I
And
didn't
if
see that, and I don't like that. That sounds horrific. But okay.
yeah, so if they can't get away with doing that in the West, they got to go for more isolation. Or even so, like Israel, they're using like military technology to track people, and you get people like getting arrested for not obeying curfews. And obviously, in the U.S., we had to declare a state of emergency to increase the amount of powers that the government has. But even under a state of emergency, it's unclear like what could the government do to you for not obeying it, as opposed to the Far East where they're like literally
Yeah,
mandatory.
so
Like
I didn't. I just watched the first sort of. I listened to the first hour or so of your video. I haven't yet got to the end of the video where you were talking about um, the government response in terms of increased surveillance. But I've heard from
night.
other people that this could lead to a huge increase in governments. As an excuse to bring in government surveillance of various kinds. And I know you were talking about that on your video.
I tried to just present in the beginning with like mostly using the New York Times or these data
Yeah,
things.
I
What's
listened to that. Yeah.
and then the last few hours, I went on, and we were just talking. And one of these guys I didn't even know that well, but he was another streamer, and usually that's more popular. Like if you were doing informative things, streaming's more popular to have like multiple people in a panel. And the nature of streaming, as opposed to news, is people like things that go on for
Well,
hours and hours. As opposed to
yeah,
news, they
yeah,
usually like short as possible.
yeah. Of course. I mean, I've spoken to epidemiologists and stuff, and a lot of them are saying really the key is that they want people even over 60 need to be isolated from the rest of the population. So I said about how half the population could get it. The point is, even if half the population got it, it wouldn't be a complete disaster if the half the population that got it all recovered. But the problem is, if the half the population that gets it are people over 60, then it's going to be a complete disaster. So you need to somehow make sure those over 60 are not in whoever gets it, basically.
We're going to be following this, it looks like, for months, and God forbid if they're right, there's going to be hundreds of dead people in a few weeks in England, and that's just, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And right now, in the places where people are like, I don't understand why we're doing what we're doing, in a few weeks there's going to be at least hundreds of people dying, could be thousands.
Yeah, I mean, we're waking up in some kind of nightmare scenario. I know.
All the experts are saying you can't go anywhere. All your business, everything has to close.
I have a brilliant idea, by the way.
Like thousands of you are going to die, even though you do all this stuff. So it's getting pretty scary.
I have a brilliant idea, which is, say, what's the date today? The date is
17.
Yeah, so March 17th. So here's the brilliant idea I have. We're going to announce now all contracts between March 17th and June 17th are void. Because are void within this time period, because this time doesn't exist. And so, for example, suppose I have a flight on March 18th. So on June 17th, the clocks will go back 3 months. So if I have a flight, say tomorrow on the March 18th, then I can take that flight on June the 18th. So everything just shifts back 3 months. Those 3 months didn't really exist. So just like in summertime, we put the clocks back a month. We just put the clocks back 3 months, and so that means people don't have to pay rent. People don't get paid by their employers for these 3 months. It's like no bills, and just like, because people are hunkering down anyway, and it's just going to be really hard even if people aren't killed by the virus, they're going to get killed by not being able to afford rent and stuff like this.
That's why I like streaming. I mean, in fact, if you ever want to join one of my streams just to talk about something like that, it's probably got a bigger future than playing chess. Although, I like playing chess in the chess community. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting idea. I doubt it'll happen. Like, I'm a landlord, and businesses right now what they're mentioning is actually interesting. Like, if you followed the U.S. politics, Andrew Yang and the UBI, where President Trump has actually said he's gonna maybe send money compensation to millions of people across the U.S.
Yeah,
and they've already made restrictions here in Michigan about evicting tenants or what you could do during the time. Your idea is kind of interesting.
Yeah, so compensation doesn't work, you see, because
from my perspective as a landlord, there's two ways they could do it. They could either
as a landlord,
or the government could pay rent on behalf of the people who can't pay.
No, see, I don't know. This is not the right answer, because
I know that's your perspective. I'm saying from the perspective of a landlord, is like, well, let's just get the government pay for the people who can't pay, and so that way I get paid. Or you have from the tenant.
Okay, but what that means is but what that means is the landlord is then making money in these 3 months when no other member of society is able to make money.
I'm saying the grocery stores are still open. I'm running relatively coronavirus. I guess I'm pretty introverted. That's why I stream and play chess. So besides some of the activities like the temples and synagogues being closed down, coronavirus hasn't changed my life at all. I still run an eBay business. I still sold a few books and sent them out today. I don't know. I mean, the economy's shut down, but it's saying non-essential activities has been shut down. And I agree. Kind of theoretically, you have an interesting idea.
So the point is, it will help landlords in the following way. Landlords often have mortgages to pay. They won't have to pay mortgages for those 3 months. So it would damage landlords who own their properties outright, but they're not going to. If you own your property outright, you're not actually going to be suffering.
Just the essential problem with what you're saying is, what about the essential services that are still being done, and those that are being done for money? Like, I went to the grocery store today, it was open, like I stood even by the checkout. I tried, I didn't get too close to anybody, but I still paid, and they still made their money, and they're still getting shipments. So what's going to happen to all the essential services? I mean, my father, I assume, like he's still charging people. They still got to present their insurance and pay the doctor.
Yeah,
So
so
what
that's
happens with the
fine.
essential services?
So, but I'm talking about time-based activities shouldn't get. So, if you're charging someone for time, I'm saying that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
So you say interest payments,
yeah, all
payments
interest
like
should be suspended. All mortgages should be suspended. All because these things are just
interest payments of
accumulate
any
over
form.
time.
All interest are payments that aren't for an immediate service. If you're doing an immediate service, then you still have to pay. But if it's not an immediate service,
So what it means, what I'm trying to say is, you're allowed to if I have a contract to deliver something by the 1st of May, it means I could say that I can understand that 1st of May to be the second time 1st of May comes around, which is in August, in July, sorry, May, June, July, August, sorry. So
I'm going to say if you were to make a legal decree, if the nation was to pass a law to say that,
yes,
then it'd have to be a consistent law and be like, well, what about this? What about that? And you'd have to
but
make
it is very consistent, I'm
clear
saying.
exact divisions, and it might be impractical.
So you're right. I don't see this happening, but it's a very consistent law. It's simply saying that we're going to set the clocks back 3 months in 3 months' time, which means that if you have any contract which has a date on it, you can understand that date to be the second time that date comes around.
Yeah, in fact, you're the first person I ever heard mention that. And the only thing I could think of comparable in history, I think, is like historically where they
Yeah, they have changed the
like
calendar before. Yeah,
the Gregorian calendar or something, where like all of a sudden they said like
yeah.
today is like when they set the Gregorian and Julian calendars
And
at
we
the
do it
same
every
time.
summer. Every summer, it becomes like 1 a.m. is suddenly midnight. So any contract that would had to be delivered by, and you don't pay an extra hour rent.
Are you saying only monetary, or does that mean like people who have a birthday between now and then like don't age,
No, I'm saying every
or
summer. So in Britain, we have
you're
British
talking about
summertime.
monetary contracts?
So what I'm saying is, in Britain, we have British summertime where the clocks are put forward an hour and then they put back an hour again in wintertime.
We call it daylight savings
Yeah,
here in the
daylight
U.S.
savings. Yeah. So no one says you have to pay an extra hour of rent or something.
I mean, because that month, I mean, if 1 month you get an extra hour because of daylight savings time, and then in the opposite end you lose an hour of that month.
Yes.
But I mean, what you're saying, I think, is unprecedented. I can't think of any time in history from my studies that
No,
where
absolutely.
any
No,
society has
no.
attempted to do it,
It's a
and
crazy
at
idea,
least I could point out
it
some reasons why it
yeah,
might not work. But it actually is an interesting idea.
and it may be then at some point you say, okay, we need to set the clocks back 3 months ahead, in 3 years' time or something. But just because we're fed up with having summer in winter in February or something.
I don't know if you heard on my stream, from like I don't know your religious persuasion or beliefs in supernatural or higher power, but I was kind of saying like like God was looking down at the world, kind of like the Tower of Babel or the flood, and it's like these like every single human across the planet go to your room for a month.
Hmm.
That's like some sort of like divine intervention that society is so much of strife, we can't get along together, that there had to be some cataclysmic event to prevent war where all humans are forced to like go to the room for a few months.
Right.
Okay, well, blessings. I better eat. It's about 7 p.m. here.
Yeah,
I only
I'm sure you're
made my
starving
point.
after streaming so
Nice
long.
talking to you, and maybe we'll see what happens. I guess if the world champion comes up, the world championships comes up, like I'm probably coupled with the coronavirus, maybe I'll spend the next month or two, putting a good few hours a day into studying Crazyhouse and trying to get better.
Hmm. I don't know. Just keep it fun. That's what I say. As far as this Crazyhouse is concerned.
I do also, I'm saying part of the fun, I guess, is winning, and so it's a competitive nature that I've mentioned in my
I'm too
students.
used to losing, so.
Like chess players aren't necessarily the nicest people relatively. like, okay, if you go to synagogue or something, or you go to like your local church or wherever place, you could assume will be somewhat nice to you. But like chess players, because it's a competitive game, where most people are playing to win, it sometimes makes it a little unfriendly.
It doesn't have to be like that. You just, I mean, I don't, yeah, okay. I mean,
And that's the purpose of the streamers and the Discord and the community. So if you're only playing as you log on and there's a bunch of names, you have no idea who they are, and you play and you try making a comment on like the side of the chat on Chess. If I hadn't found your stream or Discord, like no, I would have never became friendly with any of these people I played with, because there's not really any venue. Even if you like add a person as a friend on chess.com or message a person, like what do you tell them? Like, oh, like like you could talk just in terms of the game or trying to get better. And then like what does a crazy house community look like? If it's a
yeah.
bug house community, that makes more sense, because that's like a team game and you need players and you need a crowd. But crazy house probably will never be played over the board. It'll only be played over the internet. And even if there were like a big tournament and big money donors and top players, I think the nature of the game probably would make sense to just play it over the internet than live.
So I'd say two things to that. So firstly, obviously the house Discord set up by the Lazy MD is really helpful in bringing people together. There's a very active chat every day in the house Discord, and I'll give the link with. Is it okay if I put this also on my video? If I put this up?
You're recording what we're talking right now?
Well, I was recording Opera and I haven't stopped recording. So is that okay if I put this up as well in all one video?
Yeah, fine, no problem. In fact,
And then
that's more my
so the
style streaming.
So the first thing, what was the first? The first thing is Discord. Okay, but the second thing, and the way I first made friends on Lichess is Fishy Vishy set up a Team Crazy House League back in 2017 when I was like a 1799 or something, or 1800 player. Maybe I was just maybe almost 1900. Anyway, and so there you have like a strong player, a quite strong player, a medium strong player, and then I was like a board 4 or 5 in that Crazy House League, and that was before Zero and myself and others set up this team league thing on Slack. So Slack, I
The
mean,
exact same way I got connected, and
yeah, and if
the
you're
team
playing in a team, you're going to help
the
out you're going to help out the people worse than you, and that's going to create
finisher put a message in the chat on Chess, joined the league,
yeah,
and I clicked on it and I
exactly,
joined, and then surprising, next thing I know, the finisher chose me to be on his team,
brilliant.
and then it was the Slack, and we had our
So it's
own room,
cool. So that's a great way to make
and then
connections, right?
after.
So my first friend on Lichess, probably quite a few months into being on Lichess, is Kyle Legion because he was the board above me, and he's still better than me at Crazy House, but he hasn't played in ages. He's like at 2300 or more. Um, yeah, Kyle Legion was my board above me. Chewy the Chewer was the board above that. Retarded Platypus was the board above that, and Schwanet was our board 1. But most of my interaction is with the person immediately above me. But yeah. So yeah, that's why hopefully the Crazy House League helps keep people connected.
I mentioned too, I think I could even write a book on Crazy House. I don't have the time, like I'm not an author, but I think I know the game enough that I could write a beginner book on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be demand, and like to make a good book, it'd probably take hundreds of hours. So it's kind of like diminishing returns,
Yeah.
where someone would really have to love the game to do it. And like at this point, no one's done it because it's largely hundreds of hours of work for the
There are
love of
one
the
or two
game.
books on Bug House, but yeah, nothing really on Crazy House. Yes. I mean, I thought I could. I mean, if the thing I could do is, in theory, I could write a book about the 2018 Crazy House World Championship, rather than about Crazy House in general, just because there were 100 streams. I did several dozen of those streams of the 2018 World Championship won by Oppa against Jan Lee in the final. I did so much like analysis of games in that, puzzles from that, and so on.
Streaming is probably better than a book. Like even if you thought like how you were going to do it in books and how you're going to do
That's
the
true.
diagrams and how many diagrams,
So
that
Jan Lee
at the
once
end of
said that. Jan Lee said, "My stream is my book."
I mean, it's not a book, but it's saying like what's like my dad or someone like people who buy chess books, or it'd be like relatively the only people who would buy the book are people who are watching your streams anyways.
That's true. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean the Detroit chess stuff, they don't really like variants. Like Horde, they play Bughouse. Bughouse is popular. and we even occasionally have bug house tournaments. And almost every week there's people playing bug house, but generally, like the Detroit schools, they only signed up for chess and they discourage variants.
Yeah. Whereas everything I'm doing is the opposite. Mainly Crazyhouse, but yeah, I do other variants.
I saw you play Horde the other day,
Badly. Yeah.
I like Horde because
I need to get up to 1800. I should get up 1800 in any variant, but yeah.
1800 is already top 200 players, so there's not that like it's pretty top heavy in Horde. I don't maybe not anymore, but like 1900 is definitely already top 200. It's not like Crazyhouse where you got to be 2100 to be top 200.
I just need to learn some basic ideas. I'm sure I can easily make 1800. Yeah.
I streamed a few hours. Yeah, I mean the ideas are there's a few openings, but yeah, you probably get to 1800. It's more artistic because I think the art of winning with pawn moves. And I've done those checks on Crazyhouse, and I think even like in Crazyhouse, like 30% of moves are probably pawn moves, maybe more. And I've actually found some Crazyhouse strategies from mating with pawns or attacking with pawns, and some of those combinations of pawns that have crossed over that I never thought about. Till playing Horde, but then was able to apply a few occasional strategies to.
So if you look at
Crazyhouse,
if you look at the Horde on the Discord, I posted a nice position from my. Oh, you probably saw it already.
I was actually watching that game live.
And I resigned, and then I had actually a winning move.
I didn't see that until you posted it into Discord, and I guess Simonov saw that. Cinnamon saw that immediately, but
pretty nice, right?
Now, I got him 2 games the other day, but he's like 40 games to like 10.
I'll just show it on the screen. So yeah, so I've got 2 rooks and oh god, it's just gone. Okay, I've got 2 rooks and a queen. Okay, it looks like that pawn is promoting. There's no piece that can stop the promotion, and then you just sack your rook g3, and he takes it. Queen takes his pawns, get separated, and he's finished. Amazing. Okay, I should let you go, and we should talk again sometime.
Just for that position, there could be crossovers to Crazyhouse, like that kind of defense pattern.
Definitely. So I'd say the theme in Crazyhouse that most resembles is double take. So you have a move which is checkmate, but the opponent can take, but then you take back and it's checkmate. Which people don't see often because something's protected, but you have another piece that can come in and replace it.
Okay, great. Thanks for talking. Thanks for answering my question.
Yeah. So I tag puzzles on chessvariants.training, and so one of the puzzle themes is double take. So you can see puzzles arranged by theme, stuff like this. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate your work. Thanks for talking. Thanks for helping me out on this, and maybe we'll play or stream some more, especially if this coronavirus keeps us tied down.
Yeah, although as someone who works in teaching people, I just have to learn how to do this stuff online, basically. So I have to pick up, using Zoom or whatever people use to communicate online. So it hasn't started yet. I had my last class yesterday, even. I mean, I taught someone yesterday, but people are getting nervous.
You could use Google Hangouts without streaming it. So if you wanted to, you could, Google Hangouts is very easy. You could call for free and do screen share and message without live streaming it. So if you're not, Zoom is a little bit more complicated. I would say the easiest is just Google Hangouts.
Yeah, no, I just want something.
I have Zoom also.
Yeah,
I have like 3 or 4 programs on my computer because different people use different ones, but Hangouts is probably the easiest.
Yeah, I mean I've got no experience in this at all, so yeah, I'll have to figure it out.
But you're happy to help if you're on the thing and there's something I could help you reach out.
Cool.
Okay, have a great night. Thanks a lot.
Nice talking to you, and also I should say this is I was having fun playing with Opper earlier, so it's happy birthday to Opper. So let's wish Opper happy birthday as well.
Yeah, best wishes. I covered his stream, I think, when he played Jasugi, and I don't think I played Jasugi 2 games in the Elite, and it was a crazy game. I mean, he beat me both games. One of the games, he sacrificed so much material. He was down to just like 2 rooks and a few pieces and pawns, and I was up like plus 20, when he couldn't mate, but I didn't have I couldn't win. He still beat me.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I played opperwezen, and the Finn who I beat the first time we played, or 1 out of 2, now is like 11-1 against me. So
Yeah.
I was like 1-1, and now he's 11-1.
Yeah, I've never beaten opperwezen in Crazyhouse.
I got one off of Katask also. I think I showed you that game before. So I like at least to be like, okay, these players are substantially better than me, but
Yeah.
you know, like I'll get 1 out of 10. So even the top player, like I'd like to be able to, and that's pretty distant. Is I want to be a top 100 player, and if I'm a top 100 player, that means I got to beat these guys at least 1 out of 10. And like if you're like a top 200 player, you say as a top 200 player, you don't even think you'll ever beat these guys, even if you play them 25 games straight.
Right. Yeah, one day.
Competition, and just like Horde, it's very top heavy. Crazyhouse and Horde and a lot of these variants.
Very.
Yeah, it's mostly good players that play.
Yeah. And as you said, it narrows a lot. Like the best players find it hard to find opponents.
I'm not even a challenge for them. If I'm like borderline a top 100 player, and like I'm not even a challenge for the top players. So, you know, you're top 200 player. So you know, the players who are really.
Yeah, but I did a stream of Legion Destroyer, and he did something amazing last night because he was level with the finisher on points in the Crazyhouse Shield, berserking almost every game, and he beat the finisher 4 times in a row to win the Shield. So basically, whenever the finisher was trying to get a streak together, he met Legion Destroyer.
Sorry, train that.
Train that. Sorry.
In fact, I turned on the Discord and I saw that the Finn was talking, and then I didn't even realize the shield was, and I caught like the last hour of that.
Yes.
But train
flipper. Train flipper.
I saw that, and I think I actually have a pretty good record against Train Flipper, but that might be because
he's playing on mobile, he's playing berserking, he's playing on trains, you know, that kind of thing.
Metin, like somehow like. I'm only 9 games away from getting a positive record against Metin, but he had like a huge advantage from when I first started playing. So now Metin is like 56 to 47 against me.
Well, so someone like him, he's great because he keeps Chess Crazyhouse alive, because he had another account before this one on which he'd played about 50,000 games, and on this account he's racked up another, you know, several 10,000 probably. Like the guy is just playing Crazyhouse continuously, which just makes it really that's what you need for a variant to stay alive, is you need loads of people playing it. And people
it's not like chess.com though, because if you just have the top players playing, it's like Horde, you know, like where we have every night the top players show up.
Yeah, you need it so that when you get online, you can find a game with someone. So when you have people like that who are just playing continuously, it is actually really helpful for the game.
And CIW beat me twice today. Some of those games were close, and he destroyed in the weekly Crazyhouse. But I think he's got like 80,000 games. He's got a ton of games on there.
Absolutely, he's a complete legend. Yes.
Yeah, I had a few close games today. If anyone sees my stream,
cool.
But he beat me. I wasn't even playing that well. Chess.com. Sometimes when you just want to win and have a little fun, like it's better to play on chess.com because you could win like 9 out of 10 games.
Yeah.
And then even though I got 3rd place in the
the chess.com games are quite meaningless in that way. They're just
I lost like 40% of my games, more than 40% of my games.
Yeah, no, but the chess.com games are quite meaningless unless they organize like world championship type things. It's like 1-day world championship events. The chess.com games are just like really just, you know, moving pieces around quickly and just, you know, having fun.
It's like King's Crusher. It's the fun of what King's Crusher used to call like bunny crushing. I don't know if that's like a Brit term, but
I haven't heard it. But yeah,
when he did those videos on, then it was Chess Cube when he used to play the arenas on Chess Cube. You know, just call it bunny crushing.
Yeah.
So if you just want to win a bunch of games and have a nice, beautiful mates versus the top competition, and chess.com has a lot more players playing chess.com because it's not as top heavy, so you're just having fun, and it's not, you know, it's fun to play, but it's not fun to lose.
Yeah, but you don't learn much, is what I'm trying to say, by playing those games.
Yeah, they're the same, but I think I play more on chess.com because like I don't always want to learn. I just kind of want to relax and, you know,
I know. I mean, I do myself, but it's just
100 arenas now, on chess.com. I have over 100 Crazyhouse Arena first places.
Yes, I heard. Yes.
Burgess, like he beat me down. There's a few people like Burgess from Switzerland. I'm not sure. I've seen him on LI Chess, but he's there like every single day, a few times, and he's got like 35 to 25. He's beating me more than I beat him. And
Is he
there's
Legion
a few.
Destroyer or not? Or not?
He's Burgess on LI Chess also.
Okay, fine. Oh, Beegis. Is it J Beegis?
Just this guy on
Okay.
on chess.com that he's from Switzerland.
Okay, I don't know him.
There's a handful of players that like will play pretty often. There's this guy from Hungary. There's a guy like Son of Nimzovich.
So he's pawn in training on VChess.
Yeah, so there's a few people that play in the arenas kind of regularly, but like I almost always get in the top 3 in the arenas. I assume you would, at least half the time finish in the top 3 in the chess.com arenas, maybe even more.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's a different game when you just play to but it's sometimes that's the fun you're looking for. Is you don't want to people who are going to play the most pressing tough move or studied your games. You just want to have some fun mates.
Yes.
Okay, so blessings. Have a great night.
Same to you. Yep, night. Have a good dinner.